So I usually do my homework. I'll find somebody who knows somebody else. Give me some information, like who is it? Who is he? And Frenchie, they got me the tape. They got me the tape of his mother's house, where his mom's work at. You know what I'm saying? The other cribs, studios, and stuff like that.
That's the Cali tape.
Right. Okay. I had all of it.
So this is the daughter of the ruler of Dubai, and apparently she uses controversial rule on social media.
Leave it to 50 Cent to keep poking French Montana right where it hurts. The man has a never-ending stash of trolling ammo, always locked and loaded for whenever French's name pops up in the blogs. But this time, it's not just another slick diss for laughs. 50's latest jab cracked open something way bigger. And now, the story isn't just about French ducking industry smoke. It's about him stepping into something even darker. The diamond-encrusted cage of Dubai royalty. On the surface, the headlines scream victory. French Montana engaged to a Dubai princess. To casual fans, with her family sitting on an estimated $18 billion fortune, it looks like French finally graduated from Bronx hustler to global elite. But peel back that glitter and the picture gets way murkier. Word on the street is French's sudden relocation was less about true love and more about a survival strategy. With Diddy drowning in federal flames and whispers that investigators are quietly collecting receipts on anyone too close to those infamous bad boy freak-offs, French allegedly needed a fast exit. And Dubai looked like a paradise. But here's the thing, paradise has shadows too. People who know Dubai's underworld don't sugarcoat it. Sure, the skyscrapers shine, the cars drip with diamonds, and the cash flows endlessly. But behind that sparkle, some royals have long been accused of appetites so wild they make Hollywood scandals look like after-school specials. Rumors about princes collecting pretty boys, flying out Western celebs for shady encounters, those whispers aren't new, and they didn't just appear yesterday. So when French, a man always chasing big bags, wild parties, and power, suddenly pops up holding hands with a princess tied to billions, the math feels way too perfect. Nobody's saying he doesn't care about her. But fans are saying survival might weigh heavier than romance. And that's exactly why 50's shade cut so deep. When he jokes that French got bought, he's not just clowning the engagement ring. He's implying French traded one master for another, escaping Didderstorm, only to land under another system where rules are dictated by men with endless power and zero accountability. The irony is brutal. French thought Dubai was a safe escape hatch. But if even half the stories about those princes hold water, then he may have stepped straight out of Bad Boys fire and into Dubai's furnace. And unlike the feds, who eventually move on or cut deals, Dubai's royalty plays for keeps. That's why this so-called $7 billion lifeline doesn't look like salvation at all. It looks like another glittering trap. French may have bought himself time, but the real question is, what's the cost of that deal? Let's rewind for a second, because you can't really grasp French Montana's Dubai leap without understanding how he first got pulled into Bad Boys orbit.
Collar comes out, like we said, and now you have real deals on the table. And out of all those, you go with it.
That's not how it really went.
Was it Bad Boy MMG?
Yeah, I went to go see Ross, and Ross was like, I got an opportunity for you. I don't have the money for you. I got the opportunity. I guess it's the same thing Meek did, the same thing Wale did. I guess whatever the way his situation is with his label was, he wasn't trying to give me the money I wanted. And I wanted like a whole bunch of money. But he was like, look, let's do it like this. Let's go up. Let's get him to give you the bag. You can still be MMG. Slash. You know what I'm saying? That way. Yeah.
Right. How much money did you get?
French didn't just land that deal of one smash like Pop That and call it a career. Nah, the whole signing always smelled suspicious. And now, with everything that's poured out about Diddy over the past 2 years, fans are revisiting the timeline with fresh eyes. Here's what people forget. When French was shopping himself, he wasn't some desperate mixtape kid begging for crumbs. He had real options. Rock Nation came sniffing around. Rick Ross and MMG showed him serious love. Even Kanye's camp was interested. Out of all those doors, French picked Diddy's. So naturally, people ask, why would a man with multiple offers go sign with the one label infamous for shady contracts, backdoor favors, and extracurricular requirements that allegedly had nothing to do with music? Because Bad Boy wasn't just a label, it was a lifestyle. And for certain artists, that lifestyle was a real ticket. The whispers were always there. Folks say Diddy didn't just offer French a check. He dangled the access, the wild parties, the women, the freak-offs, the play along and get rewarded setup. Fans noticed too, because French himself admitted he took less money upfront than Russell J offered, yet still went with Puff. Then came those blurry villa photos between 2016 and 2019, French stumbling out looking drained right after Diddy weekends. The optics were loud, even if no one said it outright. That narrative only got darker after Diddy's 2024 arrest, when producers and old associates started spilling how those deals were really secured. One producer swore Puff blackballed him after he refused to join a freak-off. So when fans look back at French's fast rise, they say, "Oh, so you stayed and signed anyway. We know what that means." No signed receipt exists, but the circumstantial tea is boiling. Like Puff gifting him a special Ciroc French vanilla flavor the day after they were allegedly together all night. Or that viral birthday clip. Diddy in a robe, French shirtless, both looking way too cozy. To the streets, it didn't look like a normal label signing. It looked like a man paying a personal price for career elevation. And that's why people now think he's running the exact same playbook in Dubai. Once you show you'll trade dignity for opportunity, folks assume you'll do it again, just with a bigger bag and a new master. Which brings us to mid-2024, when French pulled up to Paris Fashion Week not just in a fit, but allegedly flaunting a fiancé. And not just any fiancé, Shera, a legit princess tied to one of Dubai's ruling families. That's not a Bronx love story. That's a power move on a global chessboard. And look at the timing. The feds were stacking their case against Diddy like bricks. Freak-off tapes, trafficking whispers, money laundering angles. The fire was spreading fast. Anyone in Puff's inner circle turned radioactive overnight. Artists, assistants, producers, even casual homies were getting subpoenaed, grilled, or flat-out exposed. And French? He wasn't some distant friend. He was basically Diddy's shadow for years. The birthday trips, the champagne endorsements, the constant cosigns. If prosecutors wanted to stitch Diddy's case airtight, French's name was bound to surface. So what's his next chess move? He doesn't just hop a flight. He locks in with a royal bloodline, tying himself to one of the richest families in Dubai. That's not just an upgrade. That's a shield. Reports say her Sheikh family is sitting on an empire north of $18 billion. That's oil reserves and real estate empires. That's a kind of wealth where $1 billion feels like a tip. And let's be real, this isn't just about stacking checks. It's about status, protection, and a passport lane that makes digging into your past nearly impossible. Once you're under royal protection, you're living in a zone where subpoenas don't exactly get priority mail. That's why the streets are saying French isn't chasing love, he's buying survival. The timing was too clean, the engagement too fast, the move to Dubai too perfect. Fans call it a fairy tale. Critics call it a getaway car disguised as wedding vows. And the optics? Wild. Every shot French posts up with his princess, he looks sharper, fresher, like a man reborn. But the comments don't let him breathe. You traded Diddy for Dubai. They clown. Or the harsher cuts. Better hope the sheiks don't treat you the same way Puff did. Because here's the real gag. French thinks he found an escape route. But those who know how Middle Eastern royals flex will tell you straight. Sometimes you don't dodge the fire, you just step into one that burns hotter. Here's the part French probably doesn't want to hear. Running from Uncle Sam to the UAE doesn't always mean freedom. Sometimes it just means you signed a brand new kind of contract, one you'll never break. Dubai sells itself as Lambos, glass towers, and pet tigers chilling on yachts. But the whispers? They've been ugly for years. Influencers fly in wide-eyed for that tax-free glam, then sneak back spilling tea about palace parties where guests weren't treated like VIPs but like props. Men and women alike, allegedly bought because some royals don't see outsiders as people. They see them as playthings. Now picture French Montana standing beside Sheikh Amara's family and their $18 billion fortune. He's not powerful, he's ornamental. A shiny foreign celeb they can showcase but with zero political pull to protect himself if things sour.
What I actually learned. A friend of mine is an air hostess and her friend was on a flight with her, and her friend was eating like a very specific diet. So apparently the thing is, it's actually a control thing. I don't know if I can speak about sheikhs.
No, speak.
So these guys actually pay these women to hold a strict diet for like 2 weeks so that they can know that they are in complete control of what that woman is putting into her body, and the girl is shit on them.
Wow.
So the girls aren't even getting on. The girls are on these guys, because then the guys feel like it's sick, like it's a control thing. So then they know, like, oh, you listened to me for 2 weeks.
Yeah, so that's probably their kink, that girls actually listen to
no,
it.
Mara's father isn't just royalty. He's one of the most feared autocrats alive. French might have clout in the Bronx, but over there is a toy in someone else's sandbox. And the internet's already clocked it. They are saying this doesn't look like escaping Diddy. It looks like upgrading to new handlers. Same dynamic, bigger palace. And let's not pretend Dubai's royals are squeaky clean. Sheikha Mara herself went viral back in 2024 for dropping her husband on Instagram with just 3 words: I divorce you. Unheard of in royal circles, admirable, yes, but proof of how messy palace life can get behind closed doors. Then add her relatives. Princess Latifah's failed escape, Princess Shamsa's alleged abduction, both tied back to her own father, the ruler of Dubai. That's Frenchie's new father-in-law. Suddenly that fairy tale glow don't shine so bright. When power that heavy moves against you, freedom ain't guaranteed. So the internet clowns it as Frenchie's $7 billion escape plan. On paper, smart. Marry obscene wealth, lock in residency, hide behind a royal shield if the feds come knocking. Socially, it feels like deja vu. 4 years people roasted him as Diddy's boy toy, the shirtless dinners, the birthday serenades, the syrup promotions. And now, the gossip says he just swapped one sugar daddy for an entire dynasty. The Bronx hustler image clashes hard with palace servitude, and fans are side-eyeing. And here's where it gets ironic. The loudest voice dragging French right now is 50 Cent. But what if 50 isn't just trolling? What if it's warning? You know 50 got that big brother energy. He'll roast you nonstop but still want you to eat. Yeah, his clown French for years, calling him washed in a Diddy leftover. But maybe he sees the velvet trap French is walking into. Not chains, not bars, a golden cage. A palace prison that looks like luxury but feels like servitude. But flip it. What if French doesn't see it that way at all? We look at him like, damn, bro, you sold your soul for protection. But maybe this is exactly what he wanted. Some chase freedom, others chase comfort. French might not see himself as a prisoner in a palace. He might see himself as chosen. The Moroccan kid with Bronx grit who grinded mixtapes and wound up with chefs on deck, AC blowing, and a driver at command. We call it hell. He might call it heaven. That's why 50's jabs cut deep, because they carry truth. 50 built his empire on independence, flipping street credibility into boardroom power. French? He might have flipped survival into servitude. But here's the paradox. Who's really winning? The man still fighting for rap respect, or the man sipping tea scandal-proof with a $7 billion insurance policy? To us, he looks like property. To him, he might feel like royalty. And maybe that's a twist. French Montana's been smiling because this was a plan all along. So what do you think? Did French level up or lock himself down? Drop your thoughts below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment. And I'll see you on the next one.